Years after ghosting my cheating wife, she continues to seek me out for reconciliation. I was 32 years old when my world imploded, torn apart by the cruel revelation of betrayal. Sarah and I had been married for 7 years, a union that had begun with promises whispered under starlit skies and vows exchanged amidst the scent of spring blossoms. We were not just husband and wife, we were each other's anchors in a tempestuous sea, our love a beacon that had guided us through life's darkest moments. Or so I had thought. The signs had been subtle at first, fleeting glances exchanged between Sarah and our mutual friend Jason, a touch that lingered a moment too long. I dismissed them, chiding myself for succumbing to paranoia. Our love was solid, unbreakable, or so I believed. It was a chilly autumn evening when the truth unraveled before me. I had returned home early, my heart brimming with excitement to surprise Sarah on our anniversary. The front door creaked open silently, a harbinger of the devastation that awaited me within. Voices, soft, urgent, drifted from our bedroom like a haunting melody. My steps faltered, the air thickening with an unspoken dread as I approached the closed door. I pressed my ear against the wood, every fiber of my being praying that what I heard was a figment of my imagination. But there was no denying the truth. "I love you." Sarah's voice, tinged with desperation and guilt, echoed through the room. "And I love you," came Jason's reply, laced with a raw intensity that shattered the fragile illusion of my marriage. I stumbled back, the weight of their words crashing down upon me like a 1,000-ton hammer. Numbness enveloped me, shielding me from the searing pain threatening to consume my soul. I turned and fled, leaving behind a world that had suddenly become alien and hostile. That night, I packed a bag with trembling hands, clothes hastily thrown into a suitcase, memories of happier times discarded like shattered glass. My fingers traced the outline of our wedding photo, a snapshot frozen in time, our smiles a stark contrast to the anguish gnawing at my heart. I left a note, its words a stark testament to the wreckage of our love. "I can't do this anymore," I penned, each stroke of the pen etching my shattered resolve into the paper. With the dawn, I vanished, a ghost haunting the edges of a life left behind. I shed my identity like a snake shedding its skin, adopting a new name, forging a new path in a city far from the echoes of betrayal that haunted me. Years passed like a blur, a kaleidoscope of faces and places, each a fleeting attempt to bury the pain that refused to be buried. Sarah's ghost haunted me still, her letters arriving like clockwork, each missive a plea for forgiveness, a desperate attempt to mend what she had shattered. "I never stopped loving you." Her words would echo through the stillness of my solitude. "Please let me explain." But explanations were meaningless against the stark reality of her betrayal, a betrayal that had cleaved my heart in two, leaving scars that no amount of time could heal. One rainy evening, as I sat in a dimly lit cafe on the outskirts of a city that had become my sanctuary, fate collided with memory. She walked through the door, older now, the years etched into the lines of her face where laughter once dwelled. Her gaze swept the room, searching, desperate, a haunted soul in search of absolution. Our eyes met, a collision of emotions, a storm of regret and longing that threatened to engulf us both. She approached tentatively, her steps hesitant as if fearing I would vanish like mist beneath the morning sun. "I've been searching for you," she finally said, her voice a fragile whisper that hung in the air between us. I studied her, this woman who had been my everything and had betrayed it all. Time had weathered her beauty, but beneath the veneer of age, I saw the flicker of the girl I had once loved with all-consuming passion. Why? The word escaped my lips, a question heavy with the weight of years of silence. "Because I realized too late what I had lost," she replied, tears welling in her eyes. "You were my everything, and I destroyed it." Her words were a dagger, reopening wounds that had never truly healed. Memories flooded my mind, lazy Sunday mornings tangled in sheets, whispered promises beneath a canopy of stars, dreams shared and shattered in the same breath. "I can't go back," I managed, my voice a hoarse echo of the man I used to be. "Too much has changed." She nodded, her shoulders slumping in defeat. "I understand." As she turned to leave, something within me stirred, a tumultuous storm of conflicting emotions that threatened to consume me whole. Anger and pain battled against a softer, quieter voice, a voice that remembered the love we once shared, the dreams we had dared to dream together. But maybe, I found myself saying, surprising even myself, we can start something new. Her eyes widened in disbelief, hope flickering like a fragile flame in the darkness that surrounded us. For a moment we stood there, two lost souls on the precipice of something uncertain yet strangely familiar. And as the rain continued to fall outside, we walked together into the night, a hesitant step forward into the murky waters of reconciliation. The cafe dissolved into a blur of neon lights and bustling crowds, our footsteps echoing on rain-soaked pavement as we navigated the treacherous terrain of forgiveness and second chances. "I never stopped loving you," she whispered, her words a plea tinged with regret and longing. "Maybe," I murmured, a ghost of a smile tugging at my lips. "Maybe that's enough." And with that fragile hope warming our hearts, we embarked on a journey, one fraught with obstacles and uncertainties, yet illuminated by the possibility of redemption and healing. Days turned into weeks, weeks into months, a delicate dance of tentative trust and cautious optimism. We revisited old wounds, laying bare the scars that marred our shared history. Conversations stretched into the early hours of morning, words exchanged like offerings in a sacred ritual of forgiveness. "I'm sorry," she would say, her voice a whispered confession. "I never meant to hurt you." And with each apology, each tear shed in the quiet solitude of midnight, a part of the darkness within me began to unravel, a knot of pain and resentment slowly loosening its grip on my heart. Love, it seemed, was a resilient force, a flame that flickered defiantly against the bitter winds of betrayal. We navigated the jagged terrain of rebuilding trust, stumbling and faltering along the way, yet always finding our way back to each other. Years passed, a tapestry woven with threads of laughter and tears, shared joys and whispered fears. The wounds of the past remained, a constant reminder of the fragility of love and the cost of forgiveness. Yet amidst the rubble of broken dreams, we forged something new, something tempered by the fire of adversity and bound by a love that refused to be extinguished. And as the years stretched into eternity, I found myself grateful for the pain that had shaped me, for the love that had tested me, and for the woman who had dared to chase shadows in pursuit of a second chance. "I never thought we'd make it," she confessed one evening, her fingers intertwined with mine as we watched the sun set over a horizon painted in hues of crimson and gold. "Neither did I," I replied, a smile playing at the corners of my lips, "but here we are." And in that moment, underneath a sky ablaze with the promise of tomorrow, I knew that our love, forged in the crucible of betrayal and redemption, was stronger than the sum of its shattered parts. For in the echoes of regret and the shadows of the past, we had found our way back to each other, a testament to the enduring power of forgiveness and the transformative nature of love.